I don't think you're being negative. You're just being funny. And if you weren't, hey.
What is that?
Happy chaos, that's our song. Loud and wild, but where we belong. Life's a sermon, love's the verse. Blessings big and a little reverse. Happy chaos, yeah, bring it on.
Welcome to Happy Chaos.
That's our song.
Well, y'all
I'm a
probably
little
just
obsessed.
heard that.
Yeah.
You guys just heard that.
Yeah.
We need one of those little things that we can like press the button and then our song goes off and
Yeah.
we can like do other things while our song's playing.
I agree.
Remember when they used to do that?
I do.
And like, I feel like I saw that on Fox News a lot.
Yeah. I feel like we need to get it on Spotify so people can download it.
I don't think I'm allowed to do that.
Seriously?
Yeah, I think. Well, you can't like make anything off of it in that way. It can be. I have licensing for it that it can be on stuff that we make money off of, but I can't like it in and of itself can't do anything that generates any income. I know, so lame.
So dumb.
Licensing and stuff.
Seriously.
Anyways, I had some interesting encounters this week, and I think that's what we're going to talk about tonight.
Tonight on episode.
I've totally lost track. I want to say 44.
Hey, remember I said 45 was because President Trump, it was epic.
Okay.
Then we had 46.
Oh boy, I'm
And
way
now
off.
we're on 47.
47. It has been a long day.
It has been a long day. It's been a long week.
It has been.
Yeah.
Lots going on. Lots happening.
Birthdays. We're in
Birthdays.
birthday season
We-
right now.
We're remodeling a new studio, and we're working on a thrift store with our church. And we had a huge sermon today and baptisms and
It's just been a great week, but a busy week, a crazy week.
all the things.
With blessings upon blessings upon blessings. The Lord is so good. So, so good. And, you know, we just want to scream it from a mountaintop. And
For sure.
so that's what this podcast is all about, is showing the goodness of God through our lives and through our testimony.
Yes. And so even just today, just this morning, I was at church, and after church, someone had in the audio department or just somebody had a playlist going, and the song I Can Only Imagine came on. And a good friend of mine, Sherry, she lost her husband years ago. At this point, I don't want to get it wrong, but I want to say something to the tune
12?
of... Oh, no.
Maybe
She's
15?
at like 16 years.
Yeah, I think it is 16.
Yeah. Around 16 years ago, she lost her husband, and that song, she was making her way to the back room, and I saw her, and she said, "Oh, that song's going to kill me." And I said, "Well, what song?" And she said, "I Can Only Imagine." And she talked about how it was on. It was kind of a trigger for her because it was on her late husband's one of the videos that they had done. That song was on there. And I told her it was interesting because they played the song "The Blessing."
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys ever heard
That was
that
the
song?
last song we played in the service today.
Mm-hmm. You know, the Lord bless you and keep you. And there was a church when my wife was sick with cancer. There was a church that came over to the house, and they stood in the front yard and they sang that song to us in the front yard. And I had to carry my late wife down the hallway. And she didn't want me to carry her all the way outside. She was embarrassed by that. But I got her to the front door, and then I walked with her and helped her as we walked outside. And they sang that song for us. And by the way, interesting fact, the music minister who wanted to do that was such a huge thing for us. And I found out later, somebody told me, oh, he was so nervous to do that. And I was like, oh, I mean, I get it. I could see why you could feel nervous about that. But what a wonderful memory that was. But I can hardly hear that song without getting a little choked up.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets to me. And
there's those songs.
there's those songs. And
Just
those moments.
Beheld is for me.
Yeah.
Because we had worship. So Jonathan was in a hospital bed in the living room because we had a bedroom upstairs. He couldn't make it up and down the stairs. He was, bad. So he would lay in that bed. we just had worship music just constantly playing, and Just Be Held was one of the ones that just kept playing, and it was the most genuine to the situation that I could ever imagine. And so that's one that sometimes when I'm just fragile, I have to skip it when it comes on my soundtrack.
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about grief and some of the triggers that happen inside of that grief. And so we know that you widows and widowers will be able to relate with that, I'm sure. But we also want to dig into a little bit of maybe expectations in grief, expectations, especially in widowhood, because that's what we're familiar with. You know, we're not talking from a hypothetical or theoretical position here. We're talking from a place of experience, and what we've experienced. And I received an email earlier this week, and I thought it'd be interesting to, maybe discuss some of that. I won't show that here, say anything too revealing. But we get an opportunity, if we didn't introduce ourselves already. I'm Justin, a widower, and Kelly is my wife, widow, and we remarried. So we both of us widowed 5 years ago, almost 5 years ago.
Lost our spouses to cancer, colon cancer.
And then
within 2 months of each other. We didn't know each other, met each other a little bit thereafter in a widow group.
And then we got married. Last year.
Yeah.
So we've been married for about a year.
But we have so many people come to us with so many different stories, questions, and also praises, because they have friends that they have led to our podcast that this has brought them through some of the deepest grief that they've ever been through. Yeah. And so we really do have, some crazy testimony and things to share. I was at a baby shower, and, she told me that, she said, I wish I had something like you guys. They don't talk enough about it, because when she was growing up, they lost her dad and they got a stepdad, which they loved the stepdad. He was a good friend of their father's, but they weren't allowed to talk about their dad at all. And so, we just want to kind of get through that and talk through that and our recommendations when it comes to marrying and blending families and keeping honor and memory alive. So, yeah.
So that's the episode ahead of you. And we hope to be straightforward and honest, but also, if you know Kelly, I'm sure she'll get to giggling somewhere. Because she always, sometimes we do just funny episodes. This one's maybe a little more serious than, our typical funny episodes. I mean, if you want, we could talk about some conspiracies or something. We get Kelly talking about the moon landing.
That didn't happen. Go ahead. But we do live on a round planet, just so we're clear.
You can't pick one or the. You can't pick.
You absolutely can. Don't even. No. They're not even the same in any way.
You guys are winning her over. She's gonna be a flat earther.
No, I'm not. I will not be a flat earther, ever.
Ever?
Ever.
Didn't you say you?
Jonathan tinkered with the idea, just so we're clear, and I was like, no. He wasn't like, oh, I'm a flat earth, but he had questions. And
I think the Earth is flat.
No, you don't.
I do. Because listen, if it wasn't.
All right, Jesse, you hear this firsthand. You won the pastor over. He thinks the Earth is flat.
If the Earth is not flat, explain to me why the bottom of our shoes don't look like this. That was funny. That was funny. You all, my goodness.
They might be laughing. Why are you saying you all? They may be laughing their booties off.
Or if they're listening, they're like, what's he doing? What is that?
Yeah. He's not really a flat earther, though, you guys. So please don't turn us off. And
I totally am. I'm going to bring that up the whole episode. That's everything will be answered because the Earth is flat.
Anyways, I think we need to start this thing out right. And I know I can't get him to sing the song again. I did last time because
you're not going to get that again.
Valentine's Day and my birthday was coming up, which my birthday just passed, and I'm 43. Now he can call me 43. Now he can say for the next 9 months that we're 2 years apart. La da 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 da. But for right now, we just got a letter. We just got a letter. We just got a letter. I wonder who it's from.
Wow, yes. you took that fun, and then you even had like a Mickey Mouse kind of laugh in there. That was
babe. It's a kids show, Blue's Clues, and so you kind of have to have that little.
Well, there goes this podcast copyright infringement. We're in trouble now.
We are not in trouble. Try me. Try me. All right. I got to pull it up. So if you want to chat with the audience, well.
One of our favorite things here is to hear from you all. Not necessarily this portion, but like reading it.
But I do want to say, I think we threw our viewers off by having the episode on Valentine's Day instead of Monday like we normally do. Because y'all, there was views. The view count was there. But
hold on, but you're under.
No, I'll go there next. I go to both.
Okay. Oh.
Just because we kind of threw them all through a loop by
She's mad
going
at
back
y'all.
and forth.
She's mad at y'all. You didn't
I'm
make
just
enough
wondering
comments.
why you guys didn't comment much. You left me hanging on my
You
birthday
have
week.
hurt her
You hurt my
feelings. That's probably a trigger.
I'm just kidding. You guys are probably enjoying the love of your lives for the ones that have it, and the other ones probably thinking about the love of your lives that are in heaven now. And so it was a love week.
It was.
And maybe it was just a super hard week for some of our viewers because maybe they didn't remarry. And I know I saw some people commenting on the widow group that they don't want to be on social media this week because of all the love posts and stuff.
Oh.
So yeah. So I get that too.
That could have been it. For sure.
I get that too.
Yeah, Vicky Q all said, I think Valentine's is overrated. My husband took me out to eat that. Oh, that's all. There's a D in there, so it looked like that. I was like, that had called, but that's all I wanted. We've got 2 grown daughters, and
That told their dad.
That told their dad he didn't get them anything this year. He has every year. Anyways, so that's crazy. We went to town and got them something. I don't know how to read that. Vicky Q alls.
We got them something. Preachers are humans. They have feelings also.
Oh, you just meant 2 separate thoughts there.
Yeah.
I was like, you got them some preachers? What does that mean? Like,
Yeah.
how do you get people some preachers?
The
You just go.
way I did.
You just go round them up.
Yep.
That's. Vicky, I feel like I botched your comment, and I'm sorry about that. But Kelly can read the next one.
Catherine CC, happy Valentine's Day. My daughter's birthday was the 13th of February, and my birthday is today on the 15th. It's been 3 days of celebrating with my family. We had an awesome time. Oh, almost forgot. The way you two show affection with a hug or a kiss is sweet. There's nothing wrong with it. Happy birthday, Kelly.
Thanks,
Well,
Catherine.
you thought for sure they were all always going to lose this one with people, and there's one for me, and I don't see any against me yet, so let's move along.
She loves it if it's that way.
Well, that's the only 2 comments on there, y'all.
But you can need to look on the other
I'm
account.
looking
Oh, my
right
word.
now.
Y'all, she is in a mood.
I am not.
We should have talked about Kelly being spicy.
That's the new 43-year-old me.
Why are you doing that?
I'm
like
just
that?
kidding. Then it's gonna play it. Let's make sure the volume's down. Right there.
This lady.
This man. Oh, we have 8 comments on here. So
See?
you guys didn't do so bad.
She was looking on the Happy Chaos page.
No, I looked at both. And earlier we only had 2 on here too.
She does
also.
not want me to finish the sentence.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I forgive you.
Jody Ballard, this was such a fun video of my favorite couple. Oh, we're her favorite couple.
You know what you forgot?
Happy Valentine's Day to you both, and love and hugs from Florida. We love you, Jody.
She forgot something, Jody. Notice what she's not holding right now. It's not even on the screen.
My mug.
Jody sent her a gift for her birthday, and it's a cowboy boot mug.
It is the cutest thing ever.
I don't know about ever. I'm sitting right beside you.
You don't like me to call you cute. You think it's an insult. It is so cute, though. It's a little cowgirl boot, pink and white, and it's a mug. Oh, thank you so much, Jody. And she sent it to me for my birthday, which is really sweet.
Rita Barnett. I feel like that's the first time I've seen your name, Rita. If it is, then thanks for being here and leaving a comment. I just love Kelly. She seems like a very sweet and caring woman.
Oh.
She is. If you are on her good side, she is sweet and caring and loving. Just stay there on her.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means just means what it means.
How could you say that about me?
No, I'm saying if you're on your good side.
He hurt my feelings.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to be silly. I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings.
Jerry
Does that
Stafford
mean I'm not on
Lane.
your good side?
You're always on my good side, even though you're thinking I'm something.
Oh, I was just being silly.
I haven't seen this name either, though. I don't think.
Jerry
Stafford
Lane.
Lane.
Okay.
Maybe lessen what you give. Easter is a basket with goodies. Valentine's is simple candy. That's all. As a child, I called it Valentine's Day. As a child,
Day.
she called it Valentine's Day.
I called it Valentine's Day.
But hold on. I just want to speak into that. Easter is a basket with goodies. Valentine's is simple candy. I like to flip the two. To me, Easter, I'm not a huge fan of the Easter bunny and stuff. And I'm not saying it's pagan. I'm not saying, oh my gosh, you're doing something bad. I'm just not a big fan. I think it's such a big distraction. And so, yeah, I am just on like, well, we give our kids some, okay, I do a couple things for Easter too. But Valentine's Day to me is more.
It's because she has a spending problem. And so if
I have a gifting problem.
if there's an opportunity to fill a
negativity.
basket or to put
We don't
something
need
on the
this
table,
Negativity.
I'm not being negative.
He's wearing something I got him for Valentine's Day, though. Why don't you show everybody? Babe, stop.
Oh,
I got him a silicone ring that
yeah.
he wanted.
I did, because when we work out, that metal ring digs into my finger.
And he spoiled me for Valentine's Day. I have a picture. I'll post it. But
I kind of broke the lessen what you give thing. Anyways, what are we reading next?
Michelle Hodge, that's a new name too, I think.
She said pre-pandemic would have been a lot. Now you did good. Oh, you must be talking about the amount we spent. Is that what you're talking
Maybe.
about? Probably so, yeah. Pre-pandemic, it would have been a lot. We spent a couple $100s. But there are a lot of kids in this house.
Yes, there
that's
are.
part of the happy chaos thing.
Exactly.
Lots of children, lots of
Yes.
things happening.
Kathy Presnell, this is a perfect Valentine's podcast, so honest and transparent. Well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. And you know what I want to know? First question. Who watched that episode with their husbands?
Ooh. But that might be the thing. You kind of might have hit the nail on the head there. It's a Valentine's episode. And a lot of people don't like Valentine's Day, if they don't have a person.
Yeah.
So, maybe that was it.
It could be.
All right, are y'all ready to see if somebody can get on Kelly's bad side? Marianne Roberts, she said, Justin, go into your settings on your phone and deactivate the red messages.
And hold on. It didn't stop there. Now there's a rolling eyes emoji after it. Marianne, I am so sorry that you think that my husband should turn off the red receipt on the text messages from me or from anybody. But he's not going to do that. He's not going to do that. And yeah.
Let's see how
But thank you.
Let's see how sweet she can
Thank
stay.
you, Marianne Roberts. Appreciate your message there. Barb Hardy, happy Valentine's
She's
Day.
gonna
And
move
it's
on.
cute pink flamingos. And it's adorable.
She just moved right on from that.
I don't need the negativity. I'm just kidding with you because I don't think you're being negative. You're just being funny. And if you weren't, hey.
What is that? What did that mean? Hey.
Hey.
Wait, just hang on. If I put those two things together, if somebody's not being sweet, if somebody's being mean to me, I don't be like, hey. Every time I feel like
I have to be on my best behavior on this. So
every time I feel like Kelly does something mean to me from now on, I'm gonna go, hey. And she's gonna know that means I think she did something mean to me.
well, good thing I'm never mean to him, so we don't have a problem there. Is it just because my birthday's over that you're deciding to say these things about me? I am so sweet all the time. I can be.
She is so sweet most of the time.
I can't. I just can't, y'all. That's the end of our mail today. And husband over here is feeling spicy. So.
Husband was just being silly.
Was he though? There's 50% truth to every joke.
So if I'm saying if you're nice most of the time, and then there's 50% truth to that, that means like more than most.
Y'all, I would say come get him, but I don't want you to come get him. He's mine. Oh, I always want to be next to him and with him.
Oh man.
I told him I missed him earlier, and he was in the room with me.
The thought of
And I said, isn't it a good thing though that I miss you? What if I didn't miss you?
okay. So we're getting ready to open a thrift store at our church.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really great endeavor.
Yeah.
It's really exciting. We have a school that is tuition free. We don't charge tuition to our students. We want to give them the gospel of Christ in every subject, and we don't charge tuition to do that.
Let me chime in really quick. I would love it if I could challenge our viewers to donate $10 a month
To the school.
to the school.
Ooh, you can do that.
Yeah, you can go to saltandlightky.org. $10 a month, y'all. That's one coffee, skipping one coffee in 30
One of
days.
your coffees.
Yeah. I mean,
Maybe
think
like
about
3
it.
of a regular
If
person's
I could
coffee.
get, how many did you say that we needed? How many people would
Oh,
fully fund?
okay, so here's some crazy numbers for you.
Yes.
If all of our followers would donate $1 a month, if it would take all of them.
Right.
If all of them donated $1 a month, we would be fully funded times 2. We'd be fully funded for
So
for the year
that
times 2.
means that if a tenth of
Yeah.
you guys
Would donate $10.
would donate $10.
Yeah.
I don't know if my math is mathin'. Y'all, I never claimed to be a mathematician.
She doesn't teach at the school. Okay, that was spicy.
I could teach kindergarten.
You should go, hey.
Hey. I feel like Kirk when I do that. Hey.
I think that is kind of a Kirk thing. Sorry, Kirk, if you're watching.
He ain't watching.
No, he's probably not.
No, but we still love him.
That was funny though.
Yeah,
It was funny because it was quick.
Yeah.
Anyways,
But he's trying to keep me back from working the thrift store.
Yeah,
we're not
okay.
on that. We're
Wait.
on donating.
hold on, wait. Okay, yes, donating. I'm with you. Yeah.
Please.
I'm
Just
with it.
commit to it for a year.
We could even do a whole like live telethon thing.
Yes.
Like get them to call in.
Yes.
But actually, I mean, very seriously, you could make an impact from where you are.
Yeah.
There's our tuition-free school. The goal of that is not for us to just have a tuition-free school, but it is to grow that ministry, that other churches would adopt this model,
Yes.
and that we would really challenge the public education system that is winning our children, and
Yeah.
we want to win them back. So we have a thrift store that we're opening, and we're using the money from the thrift store to fund the school
And
and the mission that we have at church. And Kelly has decided that she wants to go and work at the thrift store. And she doesn't just want to work it. Like, honestly, she probably would have tried to manage it if I didn't
he
pull
had to
the
pull the
reins.
reins and
and
I
say-
even said I'll do it for no money. This isn't about money. I just want to do it so bad.
And I am cautioning her in some pretty big ways.
Yeah.
that you-
He has a good point though. But I'm still going to be involved a lot.
my good point to her is what? What's my good point to you?
That the Lord gave me what I wanted. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom and wife, and I have a lot on my plate as it is, and
So much on our
I
plates.
know.
We don't have time.
He has
for
no
another.
room to speak about having tons of room on his. You know what he said the other day? So we're sitting in a group, and one of our friends, one of my best friends, says to him that he's part of the fundraising committee, and I said, I said no, he's not. I said he is overseeing, but he is not part of it. And he goes, I'll be part of anything that I want to be part of. And I said, okay, you can be until your schedule doesn't allow. Oh, look at that. Your schedule doesn't allow it. And what bit him in the bum a couple days later? The meeting for that fundraising. It consumes him. He just keeps putting himself in everything. He can't say anything to me when I want to be involved in too many things.
If I tried to manage this store right now, what would you say to me?
You are kind of doing it.
I'm
You're
trying to pass it off.
no,
Not pass it off. Don't take that the wrong way. I don't mean pass it off.
you're trying to pass the baton to
yeah,
the right
I'm
person.
passing the baton. That's what I'm trying to say.
But he's still, you know.
Yeah. There's so
So,
many things.
There are so many things, but I just feel a calling to be involved.
Kelly loves to do all the things. She's in all of them. But I need her to stay focused right now on this, on what we're doing here. Happy Chaos. We have an entire social media thing going on, and we just had a video go viral, at least for us, viral. Viral in itself has been a thing that has talked like what's the word? It's kind of like transformed. There for a while it just meant like really high views, but then it got to like super high views that then was kind of unattainable. But a recent definition of viral that I've heard is that if you have 10 times the amount of views as you do followers, then that is, in your scenario, that's viral for you. So, in our case, we have 100,000 viewers here on Facebook, and so that hit within like 24 hours. That reached 1 million views, and I want to use that as like a segue into what we're going to talk about, because that video, what was that on that reel? I almost want you to like maybe read it.
Yeah, I'll read it.
The reel is just like a little B-roll. If you don't know what that is, just like a little clip of us doing something with music over top of it.
Okay, so it's him dipping me, but it says, next time you want to judge a widow for dating or getting remarried, you need to know this. And in the caption, in the description, it just went on and on to talk about how...
Wait, I want to read it. I want you to read it.
You have to give me a second.
You were going to click on it.
I tried. It wouldn't let me. So I'll look at my notes, because I put it all in the notes and then edit it. And okay, maybe that's not going to work. Let's look at Instagram, because it should give it to me there.
I think you should just click on it.
No, see, it's just not. There it is. So anyways, in the caption it says, like, you weren't there. You weren't there when she swore she'd never love again. You weren't there when he sat in silence feeling the weight of life that had suddenly changed. You weren't there when she cried herself to sleep asking questions no one else could hear. You weren't there when he wrestled with guilt and feeling happiness again. You weren't there when he wondered if smiling meant he was betraying the love he lost. You weren't there when she felt judged by people who have never walked that kind of grief. And it just goes on and on. I mean, it's a whole list of things that people weren't there for in our lowest moments, when we were having anxiety attacks and panic attacks in the bathroom and crying ourselves to sleep. And when he went 5 days, 7 days without being able to sleep, you weren't there. And so next time you want to judge someone for moving forward, and I'm trying to get some.
Yeah, keep going. I was letting you talk. Stop.
Okay. So, and so that one has gone crazy viral. It's at 1.2 million, but I think it's going to be another 10 million video. And there's like 700 comments on there, 700 shares, and
that's what I wanted to get to, was that the comments that are on that video kind of validate what you were writing there when you wrote that, because the comments are over and over again affirming these things that we've said there. As a matter of fact, I really don't it back yet.
I'm not.
But like as she had wrote on there that like you weren't there when she swore she'd never love again. That I want to just kind of talk through some of these as part of the grief, what happened within grief. Kelly, when she first lost Jonathan, she said, when I first met Kelly, like we were not looking at dating, we were both just two widows
grieving
on a group
that became friends,
right?
To kind of understand.
And an interesting thing is, if it was like it happened one way, and then within our relationship, then we kind of switched positions, because it started out we weren't looking for anybody, but I had said early on, I was like, I am too young. My wife passed away. I was 36. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I am too young at 36 years old to not marry again. I could have the life that I had with my late wife. I could potentially have that, 3 or 4 times over again with, a new spouse. And not that I wanted a new spouse, but I'm just thinking, like, I don't, like, why have all those years? Why do I have to spend all of those years alone? And so I came into widowhood with the thought, I don't want to be alone for the rest of my life. Now that was as far as the thought went, was just, I just don't want to be alone for the rest of my life. Kelly came into widowhood, and when I first met her and was talking to her, she said to me, she said, just to be clear, I will never date or marry anyone. I am married to my late husband for the rest of my life. And I gently, very gently, I hate to use the word corrected, but I don't know if that's the word I should use.
No, I think encouraged.
Yeah, okay. But it was definitely like I was not trying to be like, hey, that's wrong. I was just
Right.
trying to say,
It's okay for you if you decide.
biblically speaking, you made a covenant and you fulfilled that covenant. You fulfilled that role.
Yeah.
That, you said till death do us part, and death has been the thing that has parted. And so, she originally, Kelly's not as she would like to think that she's not hard-headed, but she's a little hard-headed. Just a little, though. Not a lot. Not like me.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe a little.
Hey.
Hey.
But she at first was like that, doesn't matter. I hear what you're saying, but he's my husband for life. And I'm like, well, I don't feel the same way. I don't want to date or get married right now, but I also know that I don't want to spend the rest of my life alone. I don't want to be looking back and going, I just spent 50 years alone because of the sadness that happened 50 years ago, because of the tragedy that happened 50 years ago. And that's not a dig, by the way. Please don't hear that the wrong way. If you are choosing to stay single, if you are choosing that you don't want to marry someone, totally your choice. But for Kelly, there was a moment of a switch. She went from, I never want to marry again, to I don't want to be alone. But there was a moment when she swore that she'd never love again.
Yeah.
The next one that you wrote there was, you weren't there when he sat in silence, feeling the weight of a life that had suddenly changed. That was one of the biggest things for me. You all hear me talking so much, church or here, whatever. I did go through a period of not wanting to speak. Like not wanting to talk publicly, not wanting to talk. A lot of what happened online, a lot of what happened with kind of this platform growing underneath of me was really me doing this thing that I used to do, where I would say, do the thing that you don't want to do. And so I didn't want to talk, but I knew that that was necessary for my life. Like I'm a pastor, I have to talk. And so I would force myself to talk. But for the first time in my life, I was in a place where I didn't want to speak. Like I did not want, and I used to say this to our church, and I would apologize after I would say it. I'm like, I don't mean it against you all. I don't want to come and speak. I don't want to come and preach. I don't want to do those things. And, the Lord kept calling me to do it. And I think that's one, I hope you're hearing what I'm trying to say when I say this. Like, I feel like these are like the super relatable things.
I agree.
About grief that, I don't know how to say this right, other than like, it is okay for you to grieve where you are and what you're in. And even though, other people might think that they have something to say about that. They might think that they have some, insight into that. And maybe they do to some degree. Maybe somebody has some insight into something, but we have to recognize that like your whole life has changed. Everything that you've known has been flipped upside down, turned on its head, and it's topsy-turvy. And not only has it been turned upside down, but then it's been put in a blender and it's still moving around, and you're trying to navigate, where things are. And so I think that's just one of the parts about grief, that it's the part that nobody really sees, because nobody can see it, because it's happening internally. And what's happening is that you're being changed. And you have been changed kind of instantaneously and suddenly. And then, have you ever, remember like maybe being a kid, maybe not being a kid, have you ever had an experience where you've fallen asleep in the car or in somewhere moving, and then you wake up and you have to take a minute to get your bearings to figure out where you are? It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
You have this sudden loss, and then it feels like the whole world's moving, and you finally get your bearings to figure out like, okay, wait a minute, where am I actually?
Yeah.
So you might in the beginning say, I don't want to get married again.
Yeah.
But you don't stay there.
For sure.
Because, I mean, maybe somebody has. I'm not saying you haven't, but I'm just saying in your case,
Right.
you started at a place that said, I never want to get married again, but then you did change that.
Yeah.
And, I started at a place of silence. I remember the night that my wife passed, I just sat. I was at the end of my table, and I literally couldn't speak.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we cried. We all cried, and we wept. And I was sitting at the end of the table, and everybody was there. And it was probably the most awkward, sombering moment of my life, as here was all of my extended family around. And no one knew what to say. We all just sat there.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, somebody broke the silence and they spoke, and I just sat there. And then they all began, one by one, they began to leave. And I remember, my mom and my sister-in-law were scared to leave. They were like, Justin, we're literally scared to leave. And I couldn't speak. I didn't want to speak.
Mm-hmm.
It was such a strange time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead. I feel like you wanted to say something.
No, I was just going to say, I mean, I remember the night, because Jonathan passed at 2:16 a.m. And so my mom stayed the night that night while the girls were with my sister. And we had the hospice nurse there. And, well, not at the time. We called her within minutes of that happening. But I just remember, waking up, him passing, and I said to my mom, I said, obviously I kissed Jonathan and I took his wedding ring off, and I said, I need to go upstairs. I can't be here to see them take him. I can't. Please, would you take care of everything? And so she did, and I went upstairs, and I remember curling up in fetal position in my bed, and just the worst heartache, and just sobbing my eyes until I eventually fell asleep. And then I remember waking up the next morning and realizing it wasn't a bad dream. Mm-hmm. This is the nightmare that I'm going to be living.
Yeah. I remember for me that first night, and by the way, we're kind of in this section right now, I'm just kind of talking about what grief feels like, the part that nobody really talks about. And it's hard to talk about. It's hard to think about. I know for me, that first night that my wife had passed, and I remember, I'd sat there in silence for a long time. I mean, everybody left, everybody went to bed, and I just sat there, and I just sat there, and I just sat there, and I finally got up and I moved. I had some older children. I didn't want to scare them. I didn't want them to think I was, going to lose my mind or something. I think my extended family might have been scared of that, and but it's, you get it. I mean, when you look at it and go, well, here's going to be this grown man who's, obviously heartbroken,
right.
And, what's going to happen now? What's he going to do now? And so I finally got up and I went back to my room, and I remember, the lights were out, and I went back and I laid down in my room, and I remember just having this crazy anxiety that for the first time in 18 years, I was going to sleep in a room by myself. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, and then there was this reality. Here's the reality that kicks in when you go into a situation like that in widowhood, which is, that's not a fleeting thought. That's not a temporary, I had to travel or, even got arrested or something of that nature. Like, it's not like, oh, this is what it's going to be for the next year or 2 years. The thought that was in my mind was like, I am alone. And when I do this again tomorrow night, I'm going to be alone again. And it was. And there was this dread that was in me to think like, this is my foreseeable future. Mm-hmm. And then the reality of like, and of my late wife, on this side of heaven, I will never lay in a bed with her again. That was it.
Yep.
Like, that was the last time. And so that was, I don't know the word I want to use, but I guess the word I would use there would be overwhelming. That was like this overwhelming moment.
Yeah.
That I didn't really know where to turn. And I did this weird thing. I had never done this before. I opened up my shades like my window shades. I opened up the curtains and I just stared at the moon. And I remember staring at the moon for the longest time. And then for probably the next, honestly, until we got married, every night I would open up my blinds and I would just look at the moon as I would go to bed. I would just lay there in silence and I would look at the moon as I would go to bed, because I didn't have, Sarah to talk to and to, I don't know. I wasn't doing anything weird. I wasn't like talking to the moon or something like that. That'd be weird. But it was just like, it just became this kind of like practice that I had that was like, well, I'm the only one in here and there's nobody around and there's nothing to do. And I don't know, like for the first time in my life, sleep became hard.
Yep.
I couldn't sleep. And we've talked about this a little bit in the past, but I went at one point at my worst, I went 5 days with no sleep. 5 full days, no sleep whatsoever within those 5 days. I mean, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes at a time, but I would just wake right back up. I couldn't sleep. I tried and I tried and I tried, but I was up all night. I just couldn't sleep. No matter what I did, I just wasn't able. I could close my eyes. It didn't matter. I just wasn't, my body wouldn't get to sleep. And I've never had that before, and I haven't had that after, just in that time period of really heavy grief that really happened. And the exhaustion, I think that's another thing that certainly from lack of sleep, but also just the emotional exhaustion from being on this, roller coaster of going up and down.
Yes, I agree. I didn't lose sleep in that way. Like obviously I lost sleep, but I could sleep every night. It was the mornings for me, like waking up and realizing this is it. It was like Groundhog's Day, just every day waking up to the same reality, which was just horrible and miserable. And I didn't want to have people around either, though, like except my kids. I only wanted my kids around. I didn't want to socialize. And, he passed on a Saturday at 2 a.m. and the next day was Mother's Day. And so I was really just I just didn't want to celebrate it. I didn't want to be involved. And yeah.
It's funny that you say that. I remember the first year after Sarah had passed, it was that first birthday that had come around. And I remember telling everyone, I was like, please do not do anything for my birthday. I do not want anything. I do not want to celebrate my birthday. I do not want to, I just did not want for anything. I was like, don't buy me a gift. Don't tell me happy birthday. Don't sing me a song. Don't give me a cake. Don't anything. I just don't want anything for my birthday, because the feeling that I had inside was like, I just don't want to be here. I don't want to be in this place. I don't want to be in this position. And, this birthday means, it's the first time I'm going to celebrate a birthday without my wife being here. And so I remember that being really, really difficult. Psalm 34 and verse 18, though, the Lord is near to those who have a broken heart and saves such as have a contrite spirit. And I think that one of the things I'd like to kind of bridge us into out of like talking about, grief and some of what's happening there. I guess before I bridge us out of that, I just want to point out that it's interesting to me that you made that post and, millions of views, hundreds of comments. We've had, people have been emailing us, people have been writing us in the DMs. Anytime you have a video that goes with that many views over something kind of heavy like that, that tends to be. But it felt to me it was kind of another reality check moment of like, there's a lot of people who are suffering with grief.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who are suffering with the loss of a spouse or the loss of a child or a mom or a dad. Some of you might have lost a mom or a dad, and then you're still dealing with the surviving parent, and maybe you're having your own struggles with what your surviving parent wants to do or not do.
Yeah.
And if you're in that moment of like broken heart, my heart was broken and mended. I would say I'm a mended heart. It would be wrong to say I'm still at a broken heart. I mean, if you get me talking long enough, I'll weep. I mean, I would cry. I could get sad over it, but I'm not in grief the way that I once was.
Right.
There's still grief. Grief doesn't really go away per se. It just kind of
Changes.
changes, or maybe it kind of like becomes a part of who you are. It's like I don't know. I feel like any analogy I'm putting in my head feels wrong, it's like I wanted to say it's kind of like a tattoo or something like that. Like it's always there. Maybe it hurts when you're getting it, but then, over time the pain goes away, but it's still there. But that's not really true, because the pain doesn't really necessarily go away. You just learn how to cope with it, and you learn how to deal with it. And then other things come alongside of it. One of those, I feel like we have a really prime example of that, which is coming up in just a couple of weeks, which is that one of our daughter's birthdays is on the same day as my wife passed away. And so those two things come hand in hand. Here's a birthday that we have for a daughter, and we love her and we want to give her a wonderful birthday. And yet there is definitely an ache inside of me. And I actually feel like maybe I was kind of thinking a little bit ago when we were talking, I thought, it kind of ran through my head. I thought, I wonder if even with that thoughts of like that coming up, is that maybe why I even wanted to do this episode tonight? Just because, that grief is lingering the right word? I don't know.
I wouldn't say lingering.
Give me another word.
It's still
lives.
Gosh, I can't think of the right word.
Yeah.
And it's sporadic, because I just passed February 16th, which would have been me and Jonathan's 16-year. 19-year. I was thinking the date. Then our 19-year wedding anniversary.
Yep.
And I didn't know how I would feel when it came and it went, and I wasn't sad. I mean, of course, I'm sad. I miss him, and I think of course about what would have been, but for me, it happens in different moments, like I don't know, more like milestones with the kids, and we were at church. This was like a month ago, and Mila walked past us, and she did something, and you were talking about how she is my clone, my twin. And it just instantly, I didn't expect it. I wasn't thinking about it. Instantly, I got so sad. I just wanted to cry, because I thought to myself, what would Jonathan think about Mila right now?
Yeah.
Would he be commenting on how she's my twin and how she's so much like me? I mean, what would be happening there? She was 3 when he passed. And so, I don't know, it was just like, it was strange but it was quick. Yeah. It was like a couple minutes and I stopped, and I wasn't hurting and sad like I was in that moment. But I don't know. I don't know how to put a word on that, where it's not like it was in the beginning. It's not like it was the first or second year. It's just changed. Yeah.
So I guess there's two parts of that I would be maybe trying to bring to the surface. The one, for those of you who are dealing with somebody who's in grief, is to understand that grief is still present. It's, it's there to some degree, and it kind of rears up over certain things, certain triggers that happen. And yet, if you're in the middle of that, I don't want you to go, oh my goodness, 5 years later, am I still going to be, or is there no hope? There is hope.
Oh yeah.
Our lives are a story of redemption and hope. And that's what I would give you, is that, the Lord is near to the brokenhearted. And he has really, in many ways, blessed us through what happened with our spouses. And that's not to say that we would ever trade those things off. Yeah. But I think I remember saying this to somebody, I don't remember who. If you're on here and I said this to you, you could chime in. But I've maybe said more than once. But I've said this, which goes like this. You can't actually change what happened with your spouse.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is, like, let me try to say it like this. Because you can't change it, you could go through it on your own without God and without the blessings of God, but you still have gone through that heartache. But the Lord tells us that he's near to the brokenhearted. And so when you come to that place of being brokenhearted, which you cannot avoid because all of our days are numbered, but you can go through it with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he can comfort you in the
Yeah.
middle of it. He can bring you through it to the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And he can bless you in a way on the other end that you never thought would be possible.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I hear when I read in Psalm that
Yeah.
the Lord is near to the brokenhearted.
Yeah.
And I mean, that is really the truth, that one major truth about grief is that it genuinely changed my outlook. It changed my perception. It changed me. I am a different man now than I once was.
Mm-hmm.
I view time differently. I view my family differently. I view life differently, and different times and different reasons. But I'm just saying that it is a defining moment in my life, but it's not just like a line of demarcation that's like, oh, well, you know, before this or after this. No, it's more like when you've gone through something, you know, if you've been in a car accident and it, you know, somehow harmed your body, and now you know, maybe now you have a limp, or you have,
Yes.
you know, whatever, you know, you have something going on. I remember there was a guy in a band and he lost his voice. He was in a big Christian band and he lost his voice and he couldn't hardly even talk, much less sing. He couldn't sing at all.
I remember that.
And I remember him talking about how even in that and him losing his voice, how it brought him closer to God.
Yes.
And brought him to a deeper relationship with God, and that God brought many blessings through him losing his voice. And that's how I feel in this case with the thought of what I see in us. And it takes me back to, this is like a big circle that takes me back to when I think about even like right now with you, and you're like thinking about the store. And I know you're not thinking about it from a grief standpoint. You just want to go work at the store because you just love the idea of, you know, taking old things and making them look fun and new and pretty and making a store look pretty. And, you know, you love all those aspects of it. But I look at it and I say, even in that, like when like what I've been giving you, the Lord has blessed you with the thing that you once prayed for.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when you were a single mom and you had to work and you had to leave every day, and there was the burden of the home and the mortgage or the rent and and the groceries and the insurance and, you know, getting the girls where they needed to go, and how were you going to do that? There was a burden that was there that you prayed, Lord, get me out of this.
Yeah.
And the Lord he's brought you out of that. And now we're in this big, beautiful family, and we have this wonderful home, literally a wonderful home. And even more so, the Lord's brought you into being a pastor's wife. And, you know, you were brought into, even though you had a moment that you really had to pierce this, but you've been brought into a circle of friends that are a blessing to you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
You know, you have well, I like to call them my tribe. You know, you are in a tribe of people that genuinely care about you and love you, and you're just in a completely different place than you were 4 years ago.
Yeah, definitely.
And I look at it, I'm not saying, again, I'm not trying to tell you not to do something with the store. I'm just saying that when I think about like what the Lord's brought you to,
yes,
and brought you to a place in a relationship with him that is closer than you would have ever been without this.
Yeah.
Only God can do that.
I agree. And, you know, I want to speak really quick into the tribe thing, because although you felt really lonely in a group, in a crowd of so many people, but that group of people that were there to lift you up, they did make a difference.
Oh, yes.
I didn't have that. And mostly because of my fault. You know, we kind of secluded ourselves, me, Jonathan, and the girls. It was, you know, it's just us. It's us against the world. And so we weren't super active in our church. You know, we got a little burnt, and we kind of let it just kind of keep us and hinder us from being really active in a church. And so it was just us. We had a few friends that definitely helped us along the way. And I don't ever want to diminish that. But I look at what I have now, and I look at the people who surround us right now, and it is hundreds of people that I love so genuinely, I look at them and they've said to me, like, I wish I was there when you were grieving so I could have been there for you. And I'm like, I wish you could have been too. But that's why I feel like it's so important to lean into your church family. Find a church close to you and lean into that family, because I'm telling you, you might not think that you need them, but the Lord has people there for a reason, your sisters and your brothers, for those times to lift you up when you can't, when you don't have a husband or a wife to lift you up, And so really I encourage people to go outside and build those friendships and relationships. That way, it's not a cure in any way, because I mean, there's a reason me and you got so close, even in our friendship, because we understood each other in a way that the rest of that group didn't understand you. But still, they were there to lift you up in times that you so desperately needed that.
Well, I mean, one, if just on a base level, if you believe in prayer and you believe in the power of prayer, to have a group of people that know you, then that group of people is praying for you. I daily, for the longest time, I got messages every day. I am praying for you tonight. These are the things I'm praying for you this morning. Over and over again, people were praying for me. And I believe that God answered those prayers.
Yeah.
And I believe that the Lord answered your prayers.
Yeah.
But I'm only saying that to totally agree with what you're saying. I think that I would word it like this: lean into the Lord and go where he would lead you to go. And if you're leaning into the Lord and he's leading you to a church, if I use you as that example, you said you were in a place where you weren't necessarily in a church with surrounded by a group of people that were, maybe a few, but not like what we have now. Right. But then
a handful.
But you leaned into the Lord.
Yeah.
And he brought you here.
Yeah.
And he led you to me.
Yeah.
And now look at where you are now.
For sure.
So I would say it from the standpoint of lean into the Lord and then go where he tells you to go.
Yes.
Even when you can't fully explain that, or maybe you don't even want to do the thing that he's calling you to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I know for me, there was lots that the Lord called me to that I was thinking, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go preach. I don't want to go to church. I don't want to see anybody there. I remember going back to church for the first time. By the way, in case anybody doesn't know that part of my story, I met my late wife in a church building. That church moved. I was a part of that move. At 15 years old, the church moved from one location to another location. Fast forward 12 years in my life, and that church, well, I shouldn't say 12 years. I should say 15 years of my life later. 15 years in life later, that church offered me that building
that you met
for our
Sarah
church, that building that I had met my wife in. And everybody in this church had forgotten that I had ever been a part of that church. They didn't even know, 15 years later, maybe a few people knew, but most people had, no idea. So we had went back to a church building, the very building that I had met my late wife in when I was just a teenager. And then she passed away while we were still in that building. To the Sunday following her passing, the drive up to that building and seeing that building was gut-wrenching.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine.
And I remember when I went in for her, we did her memorial service. It was in the middle of 2020. You couldn't go to a funeral home.
Yeah.
And so we had the memorial service at the church because that's the only place that we could do it. And I remember opening up the door and our good friend Camo was standing there. And I remember just, it almost, the wave that I felt almost knocked me over. I mean, I just gasped and kind of let out a cry. And a few people, Camo being one of them, came out and put their arms around me. And they literally helped kind of push me in the door because I was just so overcome with emotion to go back in that place. It was very, very difficult to go back in. And I remember not wanting to go there. And yet the Lord did this crazy thing in the middle of that and began to grow that church. And somebody just bumped our door and scared Kelly. Did she jump? I didn't see if she jumped.
My heart did.
Anyways,
Sorry.
I just want to say though that in Kelly's way, she leaned into the Lord, and the Lord brought her here. In my way, I leaned into what the Lord was doing, and He was calling me, and He grew my ministry in a way that I had been working at and striving for years, and the Lord grew that. And not like that's a personal badge, like, okay, yeah, you did a good job. What I mean is that the Lord, He took this situation where I've lost my wife and I was going through extreme grief, and He used that as a way for me to do the thing that He's called me to do, which is to minister to other people. And even to this day, I get to minister to people who have gone through loss.
Yeah.
I got an email. We made this post, and it's getting all these views and getting all this attention. And in that, after making that, I got an email from a gentleman, and he's looking for advice, because I don't want to give too much of a story here, because I don't want somebody to be able to put pieces together. But he's lost his wife, and he has an old friend, an old female friend, has come up in his life now. And he's beginning to develop feelings for her. And number one, he's scared of those feelings. I can totally relate with that. I'll get to that in a second, but he's scared of those feelings. Number two, his children are potentially upset with him. And he keeps hearing this line repeated over and over. And he said it multiple times in this email. He said, I keep hearing, I know everyone says, I know what they say, I know what everyone wants from me. And the line that he repeated several times after that was that you have to wait at least a year. You have to wait at least a year. And that's such a strange thing. I remember hearing that same thing as well. Don't do anything for at least a year. Get through all the first before you make any sorts of decisions, or before you do anything. And listen, there probably could be some wisdom to that, in the sense of like getting through all those first. But there is something that happens inside of widowhood that changes your brain, and you recognize the brevity of life.
Yeah.
And what used to feel like, oh, this takes forever, now seems like a very short distance to get from point A to point B. And I remember one of the things that was going through my head early on was, you of all people, talk to myself, like, you, Justin, of all people, know that an instant can change your whole life. You have no promise that you're going to be, like, there is no guarantee that you're going to be here 6 months from now or a year from now. If you say like, well, I know I'm supposed to wait a year. I know, don't do anything for a year. Who says you'll be here a year from now? Because if my late wife in her 36th year of life had thought that, oh, well, don't do whatever for at least a year, she would have never made it. Whatever that thought was she was having, she didn't make it a year. She made it just about 6 months after, she was diagnosed. And so this man sent me this email, and I'm getting to a chance to minister to him. And I'm going to say something really bold that I'm going to say to him, and I'll say to you all as well. There is no time stamp on grief. And I would not encourage anyone to rush into anything. But I would also say nobody has the right to tell you how long anything should take or how long anything should be. And who knows what the Lord might be putting in your life. And if you're having feelings, that is okay.
Yeah.
And I totally understand being scared of the feelings. And that's what he said in the email to me. He said he's literally scared of having those feelings. He is scared of falling in love. I can say I was genuinely in that place. But like genuinely scared to fall in love again, because the thought that ran through my head when I thought about that was, if I fall in love again, if I get married again, the potential is I have to suffer this again. And I did not want to do that.
And I didn't have that. I didn't have that fear of, I will have to do this again. Because the way I think, when you say that, the way I think about it is, if I had thought that way the first time around, but our minds weren't there because we weren't close to any kind of situation like that. But I just look at it like, goodness, I don't know, live life to its fullest. And I think that's the biggest lesson that I learned when losing Jonathan was nothing's permanent except Christ.
Yeah.
Nothing. I didn't realize that. I looked at relationships like, when you marry somebody,
It's like the love
you,
song.
yeah, you marry for the rest of your life, and that's just the way it is. And I'm so glad that I married the right guy, because you see divorce and so much happening. But I'm like, that's not us. Like, we are committed. We made a covenant, and we're going to be together until we grow old and die together. And when I lost him, I realized, my goodness, nothing is permanent. Nothing.
And in the song, it's, the country song, forever and ever, amen, right? And I think we feel that. We think,
Yes.
it's like, we think our relationships are forever. And literally, I mean, in love songs, we say forever and ever, for eternity, for always, whatever. And though we can be living proof to, we love our spouses.
Yes.
The love we have is forever.
Yes.
But the relationship that we
Yes.
had is not forever.
Yeah. I mean, even in the comments of that viral reel that we just did, someone said, and I don't think they're a widow or a widower, and they said, I know a guy who lost his wife 2 months ago, and he's already seeing someone, and they put a little thinking face, and I'm like, how dare you? I don't care if it's a week later. You have no idea what it's like to wake up to the love of your life no longer there. You have no idea. And if that person, if somebody meets someone a week later and they feel the comfort that I felt when I met you, and even though it was a friendship comfort, the comfort that I felt to feel glad to wake up again.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's what you had at the end of that post, was you also weren't there when the good feelings came back.
Yeah.
When you felt happiness again, or when you felt joy again, when you felt peace again, when you wanted to smile again. And that's the other side of it too. When you've walked the dark path, and now you're in this well-lit path, and you begin to see how lovely it is to be out of the cold and in the warmth, to be out of the dark and in the light. So, to be out of the night and in the day. And when you feel that, then there's a joy there that also is on the other end of the spectrum, also unexplainable, because your feeling is comparison.
Yeah.
I remember the silly thing I used to do. I used to get a bowl of chocolate ice cream, and I would drop a scoop of vanilla ice cream in it. I don't like vanilla very much. I mean, I'll eat it, but I'm like, bleh. There's water and then there's vanilla. It's lacking some flavor.
You just needed some Fruity Pebbles with it.
I still doesn't do it for me. But I didn't love vanilla, but I would put a scoop of vanilla in. And I remember Sarah would say to me, she'd go, why do you do that? Like, why do you put vanilla in there? And I would say, because when I eat the vanilla first, and then I finally get down to the chocolate, it makes the chocolate taste that much better. I promise you, I used to do that. I would do that all the time. I would eat my vanilla first, because if I had just the chocolate, I'm like, okay, chocolate's good. But if I eat vanilla first, then whenever I get in that first bite of chocolate, I'm like, oh, that's right. I love the chocolate part. And so she always thought that was so silly that I would do that. But I think, obviously on a much deeper level, when we have lost, and then we come into that place of happiness again, and of joy again, and of peace again, and you've felt what it's like to not have it, and now you have it again. I don't know. I mean, if you've ever seen the movie Elf, when he runs in the door and he's like, I'm in love, and I don't care who knows it. There kind of is that. One of the things for me that happened in grief was before I lost my wife, I did not hug people. If you came at me and threw your arms open, I would step to the side and grab your hand and like shake your hand, like, hey, how are you? Whatever. I did not want to hug people. I know that sounds so weird. Now that, I look back on that, I'm like, gosh, that really was so weird. But that's what I did. But now I am like the total opposite. I am like, life is too short. Put your hand away, give me a hug, and I mean, I feel like I just hug everybody, even strangers that I don't really even know. I'm willing to give them a hug, because grief has changed me in that way. And I've went through that dark period, and now I'm in this new period. And I'm, like I said, I don't know a better way to describe it than like, you know what? I'm in love, and I don't care who knows it. And life's too short for me to be worried about, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah.
And so the advice that I would give to that man who wrote me and said, well, I found somebody that they make me happy, and I'm, I'm feeling again, and I've been numb, and I'm starting to have feelings again, but I'm scared of those feelings. Listen, you know what? It's okay to be scared. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay if those feelings change. No one can put a stamp on it and say, oh, this is the next thing. We can't give you, no one can. I cannot give you, we've walked this, and I cannot give you a timeline and say, this is what is supposed to happen and this is what is not supposed to happen. All I can say is this: trust the Lord, lean into Him, and then walk through the doors that He opens. And don't worry about what anybody else has to say, because hear this: there is no magic number on the first year. There's no magic stop after the first year that says, oh, these are all the first. Now you've done all the first. No, you haven't. You're going to have to go through the first where you buy a new car. And every time you bought a car for the last 18 years, they've been there. I remember we had bought a car for my wife. She'd always wanted a big SUV, and we bought her a big SUV. And then a few months later, she got diagnosed with cancer, and then she passed. That car broke down, like full on broke down. It was like sputtering its way in for me to go trade it in. And it was heartbreaking to watch that car get sold. Because that was her car. And so what do you do with that? It's been more than a year. We've been through all of the first. But even though we've been through all of the first, here's a new first that shows up. And it's not just that. I mean, it's your kids. Your kids get married. That's what happened to me. My second oldest daughter got married. My oldest daughter moved back to Kentucky. My second oldest daughter gets married. Those are first. You can't control those. You can't say, oh, well, it's, after the first year, so there's no more first.
For sure.
So there's no magic number at 12 months. This is okay. 12 months now makes it acceptable or unacceptable, and this is the reason why. It's the whole rest of your life, and it's okay to love the person that you've lost for the whole rest of your life, and it's okay to just take that grief as it comes.
Yeah, I was just thinking about how. You were talking about these firsts and stuff. And I personally haven't had, so Kaylee, who was the oldest of mine that I brought into the marriage. And we're hopeless romantics in this girly family. And Jonathan just played into it all.
He didn't have a choice. He was surrounded by estrogen.
Exactly. But he would dance with the girls. Like that was all the time. He was always dancing with them. And we always put on Cinderella. That I Dance with Cinderella by, I think, Stephen Curtis Chapman. And that was going to be the song Kaylee and him walk down the aisle to. I have video of them dancing to it, which I'm so grateful for because I totally plan on playing it on her wedding day. But we're about to go to a wedding in 6 days. And the song that Chris and Ava are going to be dancing to is Cinderella. And I just, it breaks my heart. I'm already like, it was like a gut punch when I found that out. And I was like, what do I do? Do I take Kaylee and go to the bathroom or go somewhere during that dance? Because, yes, I don't want to minimize the fact that she has a dad again that will walk her down the aisle. But there's still the pain of knowing her birth dad that wanted so badly to walk her down the aisle is not here to walk her down the aisle.
Right.
And that someone else gets to dance with their dad to the song that she wanted to dance with her dad to. And that's going to be a gut punch. Like I'm trying to hold it together right now thinking about it because it's going to be such a gut punch. And I really don't know what to do. I think you just got to.
That's right. And you can't know what to do. And you know what? It's okay too. I think something that I feel like I've kind of leaned into is that it's okay to have those feelings. Like when they come, it's okay. It is okay in that moment to say, I'm having these feelings. What I mean by that is like, if you need to go to the bathroom, go get away, that's okay. But sometimes it's okay to just kind of be in that moment and have those memories. On one hand, yes, there's the part that you've missed, but there's also the memories that you have that those things come on and you have those thoughts and those memories of like, that's that's them. That's my, that's my person. And I think that's good too. So it's such a hard thing. And I hope you guys are hearing what we're saying there. Like, so you see that there's no timeline. There's no like, oh, okay, well, it's over. Now we're on the new. That's why I really don't love the like chapter 2 stuff. Oh, like this is a, I'm on my chapter 2 or I'm on my whatever.
Yeah.
And I just say, no, you know what? It's all your journey. It's all part of your story. All of it.
It's woven.
Yeah.
It's woven in.
That's right. There is there's a part that is always there with you. They're always, Jonathan is always going to be a part of your life. I'm part of your life now, but Jonathan is still a part of your life. Sarah will always be a part of my life, and you're part of my life now. But Sarah is still there.
Yeah.
We were out for a walk one day, and this woman was talking to us. We'd never met her before. She stopped us and was talking to us about other things. And she asked if we were married.
If we lived in the neighborhood.
Yeah, if we lived in the neighborhood. And,
I had just moved in because we had gotten married a couple months earlier.
And so we told her that we had both been widowed and then found each other. And she's an older lady. And she said, oh, I dated a widow once for, I don't know, years. She said like 3 years or 5 years or whatever it was. And she was like, I could have never married a widow. And of course, talking to 2 widows, we're like, what? And then she said, that woman, his late wife, she lived in that house with him. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, oh, everything was sacred. There was an ugly clock with whatever, and couldn't touch the clock because that was her clock. And there were pictures of her in the hallway.
And Justin's like holding me back.
Oh, I was like, well, good talking with you. See you. We just walked off there. I think I even said something a little more choice than that.
Yeah.
Not choice, like a bad word or something,
right.
But I just mean like a little more. I think
we just cut it off.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a clear cut. Like, well, you ruined that, and so we just came off of it. But there's the thing there. Here was a woman who could not understand what it was that this man was going through. And it's because she had never gone through it. I don't totally fault the woman for it. She was looking out for herself and, what she could understand. But, that's the thing about grief. There's just no timeline. There's no cutoff point that it's like, okay, it's over. No, this is just a part of life.
It's a part of who we are.
Yeah, it's a part of who we are. And we don't carry it like a badge, and we don't carry it like luggage either.
Yeah.
We're just made with it at this point, because that's what God's done. But God uses that, and he makes it part of your story. And I hope that we can be an example for others of redemption and restoration. That's really the word I want to use there. It's just a story of restoration, that there is still hope. There's still hope in Christ, even right now. Like, even for whatever you've gone through, there is still hope in Christ. And it may not feel like it in the moment. It might feel kind of hopeless in the moment. But if you know Christ, it is not hopeless. He's taking that scenario that you're in, what the enemy meant for evil, and he's making it into good.
Yeah. Yeah. Use it to glorify him.
Well, we didn't ask a lot of questions. We just talked a whole lot. I feel
Yeah.
like I talked a whole lot.
I did too. But it's all good stuff. Like, we really do hope that we're speaking to somebody and helping somebody through tough times. But if you have a question for us, maybe you're just tuning in for the first time, maybe you just found our page. We get that daily, where somebody says, I just stumbled across you guys' page, and my goodness, what a blessing. So if that's happening right now, and you've got a question, maybe we didn't address something, maybe you just want to know. We get questions all the time. Ask away. We are open books, and we are here to help and to love and to mentor and to just kind of be a testimony.
And next week, we're going to do a fun episode. I don't know what yet. Do you have any ideas?
Well, see, Mr. Ambitious over here, I said we'd be in our new podcast studio for our 50th episode. Remember, this is 47. So that would be 3 more weeks. Yeah. He thinks we're going to do it next week. Possibly. And we will see. I would love for that to happen, but I don't think it's going to be possible because we still have.
Oh, ye of little faith.
Listen, we have a birthday coming up on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Our son's birthday is Wednesday, and he's getting his driver's license, and then we're supposed to go to Perfect North the next day. He's got 2 sermons to write, and I've got homeschooling. We've got a store we're opening. We've got people we're hiring, and so we've got busy lives. And I would love to. I will try to make it happen with him, and I hope we do. For his sake, I hope we do. Just because that's what your goal is, but I also don't want to put too much stress on him. I need my husband to not be so stressed out. I know.
Well, I'm not laying stress on me. I'm just excited
Yes.
about what we
Yes.
have and what we're doing.
I just don't want you to set an expectation that we don't meet, and then
Yeah. Somebody said something, I can't remember exactly what they said, but I remember saying to them, I was like, I don't know if you recognize, like, this is a big deal for us. Like, this is a big investment, a big step.
yeah,
Something new in this endeavor that we're in. I mean, to put such an investment into it, to have a totally separate studio that's just dedicated to this.
and real equipment.
Yeah, upgraded equipment and upgraded space. And really, it's going to be a really nice thing.
Yeah.
And hopefully, another thing that I'm working on setting up is the technology side. I would love to be able to bring on other people with us. I mean, that's been a goal for a while. And I know that there's ways to do it on your phone, that we could possibly do that. But really looking forward to maybe having some people on our podcast
Yes.
and introducing you all to some other people.
Yes.
And so, yeah.
And maybe some love matches could be made. I had someone message
What?
us. Listen, I had someone message us and say, we inspire them. It was a girl, and she said, can you play matchmaker for me and find me love like that? And I'm like, you're speaking my love language right now.
This is the first time I've ever heard this as a desire for our podcast, is to play matchmaker.
I know, but it's possible. But also, we're going to be getting a P.O. box here in the next week or 2. I would love for you guys to write us letters, even if it's a testimony or what you've been through. And I want to make a scrapbook.
I'm still stuck on the dating game thing.
I've always played matchmaker, and so let me
just tell you all, I avoid playing matchmaker.
Oh, I love it.
I refuse.
I love it, and it's fun. And
people ask me, they're like, do you think this is a good fit? And I'm like, I don't want any part of that. I'm just like, hey, good for you, whatever, as long as nothing illegal going on, I couldn't care less.
I already have a friend at church, and
you better stop right now.
She is.
You better stop right now.
I won't say her name.
Stop.
But she's beautiful, and she is a godly woman, and like I want to find her a good man.
I'm
so
telling her to stop.
Bad.
Stop.
So, yeah. Okay, but you guys, seriously, one question we always ask you guys is what you want us to talk about on the show. And you know what question never gets answered? What you want us to talk about on the show.
I think that's hard for people to answer, though. I think that's a difficult thing to be like, well, what would I want? If I think about somebody else's show, like, what would I want them to talk about? That's a difficult question to answer.
You're a difficult question to answer.
Hey.
That's a new thing.
It's the thing.
It is a thing.
Hey, y'all, we've enjoyed being with you this evening. I'm about to fall over. I'm getting tired.
Me too.
So we love you guys. We will see you next week for a fun, goofy, typical Kelly. I would love to know if there's something that you're like, you guys have done this. We would love it if you do that again. I loved our conspiracy episode. The problem is now it's kind of more like truth telling more than conspiracy.
Yeah.
So.
Do you guys want to talk like Epstein and?
That's a gross topic.
I know.
Whew.
I know.
That's some messed up stuff.
Agree, but it is prevalent right now.
Oh boy.
It is coming right back out of the woodworks.
But we could talk about Trump releasing all the UFO files.
Next week, conspiracies number 2.
And then, believe it or not, our year episode is coming up.
I know. That's what I was hoping the podcast studio was going to be.
Oh, we'll be done way before that.
Really? I don't know. When was our first episode?
Well, babe, we've done it every week. What week are we on?
No, we haven't.
We've only
skipped
missed
one week.
We've only missed 1 week. So that would make
Oh
it.
yeah, 52 weeks would be. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's what I'm saying. You're
gosh.
coming
Well,
up on a year.
51 if we skipped, or 53 if we skipped. 53,
No,
50.
51.
51.
51 marks the actual 1 year mark, but 52 weekly episodes.
4 more weeks, and we've been doing this for a year. That is so exciting. Happy anniversary.
You just wanted to say that.
Okay. Well, we're going to bed
Yep.
because it's late. This will be out for you guys on the normal Monday. So hopefully you guys will leave us some more comments.
Bye, y'all.
Happy chaos, that's our song.